Hi, this is Charlie Turnbull on Delishops Discovers. We have Stephen Lawrence from Brunswick Aces coming all the way from Australia. You are looking amazingly cool there, Stephen.
Look, we are trying our best. This is our brand new non-alcoholic bar, and we've even got our world's first non-alcoholic distillery behind us.
Okay. You look prepped, you look ready, you look smart. Tell us about what you're doing.
Well, as I mentioned, non-alcoholic products are our main deal, but unique to the market, we actually have the same blends in both an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic. So Charlie, if you and I are having a drink, you might be drinking and I'm not, we can both have exactly the same drink and share that experience together.
I think that's very, very clever. So obvious, sort of twins in that way. Tell us a little bit about how you got here. What's your journey?
Well, look, we were actually 5 neighbours in the beginning. We lived just up the road in Brunswick here in the heart of Melbourne. Can I come borrow a cup of sugar became come over for dinner, come over for drinks. We really bonded over making our own food and drink. We were making beer and wine and eventually progressed to gin. We'd have these wonderful cocktail evenings together. And then a couple of our team, one of them got pregnant, another started running a lot. And so they really missed out on that, amazing kind of bonding experience we were having over these beautiful cocktails. Our team's really blessed in that we've got a couple of different expertise in as part of what we do. I'm an engineer, we've got a scientist, we've got an accountant. So we just put our heads together and said, surely we can get those same beautiful aromatics that we're getting in our gin, but without the alcohol. And sure enough, our sapiir, as we call it, was born. So this is 100% non-alcoholic, as opposed to some other brands that remove the alcohol. So it's not only non-alcoholic, but it's even halal certified. And with our twin, same flavor profile, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, everyone can join in.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And in taste tests, the Pepsi Challenge, can you tell which is which?
Yeah, so look, we actually do some blind tasting. Certainly neat. There's obviously a very prominent difference in that one's got 40% alcohol and one has nothing. But certainly when you mix it, I mean, it's intended to be mixed either very simply with a tonic like a gin and tonic, or in this case, a sapiir and tonic. It's, all of those beautiful aromatics that people are looking for are still there. So it's much more difficult to tell. And people that don't know what they're drinking, about 60–70% of the time don't know at all. But ultimately, I mean, when was the last time you had a gin and tonic and turned to someone and said, oh, this alcohol is amazing? It's all about those botanicals. And they're, not only are they in our non-alcoholic, but we actually make our gin, 50% of our gin is our non-alcoholic product.
And is that popular? How's trade? I mean, obviously non-alcohol for the very reasons we talk about: pregnancy, health, lots of reasons why people want the adult flavor. They don't want to be drinking something that's 12 teaspoons of sugar in carbonated water all night. And that's working for you in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see the trend worldwide, not just here. And obviously, you guys over in the UK are in many respects leading the charge. We're standing here in Australia's first non-alcoholic bar. We've really jumped into this. We're not just serving our own products, but others, beers, wines, spirits. Everyone is looking to moderate and, have a few days off, but they still want to socialize. They still want those beautiful flavors and to share them with their friends and family.
That's fantastic. That really is at the cutting edge. So let's get into the flavors. I mean, I don't know what sapiir is, so I think you should start there. Obviously, gin I'm very familiar with.
Yeah, well, look, sapiir is just our term for a non-alcoholic spirit. There's some other brands out there that use that terminology, but we see it as such a kind of a negative connotation, starting with the word non. So we call our product a sapiir. That also represents the fact that it's completely non-alcoholic, and because we don't use any of the alcoholic terms on our bottle, it's one of the reasons why we're halal certified. We also make it all. This is a dedicated, custom-made facility here that only produces non-alcoholic. We have a different facility that produces our alcohol. Then we blend them together. So we're looking at a product that is, like I said, 100% non-alcoholic. We have about 11 different botanicals that we distill in here. The difference between our gin that's made in a single batch, we put all of those botanicals in and the alcohol extracts them out. Without using any alcohol, it means it's incredibly difficult for us to extract those same flavors, the same aromatics that we're looking for. And so we have to individually distill every single botanical. So each drop goes through our still, but if we're distilling cardamom, it's just cardamom, and we might have to do that differently to, say, a lemon myrtle. Lemon myrtle being one of the Australian native botanicals that we have in our product. And that's what really differentiates our blends from some of the others on the market. We have lemon myrtle, we have wattle seed, and we have a native mountain pepperberry. And that gives these really beautiful kind of balanced flavors across the palate. So we have something like lemon myrtle that will give you this really nice nose that you should be able to smell when we test it in a second. Then you've got things like cardamom that round out the middle. And then the pepperberry gives that kind of lingering taste that you get, and you can sip and savor a product long after you've consumed it. And it makes you want to drink more and socialize more. So shall we have a taste?
I think we should. Yes, absolutely. Fantastic. Right. So before we get there, you have this, the Aces. Tell me about the Aces and how you use that in your branding.
Yeah, look, certainly for us, I mean, we see the product, we make an ace, for instance, but an ace on its own isn't a particularly good hand. It should be paired with others, king, queen, jack, ace is a great hand. So if you get that right and you put it with other ingredients and you blend them together, you really get this beautiful, cocktail. A cocktail is about balance. And we're just adding these very delicate, complex aromatic flavors. So if you have a mocktail, it might be very sweet. You might sip it, but then obviously you probably don't want to drink too many of them, as you pointed out. There's a lot of sugar in them. By using our products, you can obviously reduce that sugar, but add a huge amount of complex kind of adult tasting flavors, as opposed to those quite one-dimensional muted flavors that you might get in a traditional mocktail.
Yeah. So I've got a sapiir hearts and a sapiir spades. Let's kick on.
Let's go through our spades blend. Our spades blend is more of a classic. It's got that kind of green, savory, kind of London dry style, albeit with the things like the native mountain pepperberry and the lemon myrtle. I'm going to get you to just get a jigger. Hopefully you've got one of them in front of you as well. What we're going to do is just pour out 30 ml of that, and I'm going to get you to just give it a bit of a nose. That's obviously going to kind of give you a bit of an indication of what's going on. You should be getting all those nice green flavors I'm talking about, some lemon myrtle in there, things like parsley, coriander. I
am taking it for the bottle. I do like your branding. I'm going to bring that up because I'm slightly closer to the camera than you are. So it's very much this a pale background with gold and silver with this Aces, a very classic, almost Art Deco font you're using here.
Absolutely. Yeah, look, we're very much about, making the environment in the right sense. Hopefully, if you tasted that product, you're getting all of those flavors melding around in your mouth. And what I'm going to get you to do now is just pop a bit of ice in there. So fill up the rest of that glass. Just going to pop that in there. Take some Cappy tonic in this instance, which is another local Melbourne brand, but any kind of dry style tonic that hopefully you've got there will work as well.
I'm really getting that lemon verbena, that sense of that essential oil kind of moment, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, look, all of those. What the difference between a mocktail or an orange juice or something like that is, it's everything's being pulped in there typically. With what we're doing, we put an awful lot of a single product in, and then we're extracting those very beautiful, delicate aromatics and then blending them all together. Hopefully, you've got a bit of tonic in your glass now, and what I'm going to get you to do is just put another little drop of our sapiir on top, because that really lifts it when you're drinking it. And then obviously
I'm letting you be the man here. Just tell us.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, well, we're just going to pop a little garnish in that, and then suddenly, to all the world, you've got a beautiful gin and tonic essentially. But in this instance, it's a sapiir and tonic. There's absolutely no alcohol in it. That tonic's really lifting everything out, and suddenly, I'm getting these flavors that are coming through, and it's not disappearing now. I've, swallowed it. It's staying with me, and I can, feel that different flavors are coming through at different times. If I've got a friend who's perhaps having the gin and tonic, it's a conversation starter. You might say, "Oh, the pepperberry is really coming through," and suddenly you feel like you're part of that conversation. You feel like you're part of the ceremony or whatever it is that's going on.
I strongly agree, and I think that humans like that kind of background noise as they're drinking of all these little flavor profiles sort of going off like little sort of fireworks.
I'm standing here like I need this in my hand. I need something going on, particularly over here in Australia. We just sort of lost without it, right? We need something.
We don't know what to do. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
especially as like smoking's massively in decline, obviously a good thing. But that kind of like, what do you do with your hands? You need a drink, and you don't want the need for high quality adult savory based drinks is really strong.
Yeah, look, I mean, what do we all enjoy? As I pointed out earlier, no one tells you how wonderful the alcohol was in something. They all tell you about the flavors or, how it made them feel. Even drinking is, part of our culture, and why should we be missing out on that just because we don't want to imbibe in alcohol on a particular evening or at all, of course?
Yeah, and the need for long drinks is very important as well, so you can linger. But one of the things that I find that is interesting about what you're doing is the use of things like lemon verbena, and that is you saying, I like the gin, but I want to expand on that and broaden out into a wider range of botanical leg flavors.
Absolutely. And look, certainly for our Hearts blend that we haven't gone into today, you know, we lean into a much more kind of a warmer spiced effect. We've got things like the wattle seed, which gives this beautiful kind of coffee chocolate undertone. We've got things like star anise, cinnamon in there, give this really warming palate. And particularly, you know, if it's a Christmassy or wintry drink, you're getting that delightful kind of, you know, homely feel with something that really warms the cockles, as it were.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're doing fantastic. A very, very you're breaking new ground, which is really good to see. And a lot of what we expect from what we've spoken to other people on the Taste of Australia event is how much creativity is coming through in a cool, well presented, well packaged, accessible format, which is what you're doing here.
Yeah, look, certainly for us, you know, we're ever evolving. You know, we're getting to the point where we're now, you know, we're bringing out some new packaging. So this is what's available currently. And in the next few months, we're going to be bringing out our new packaging. A little bit of a sneak peek for you here, Charlie, just for you. This is our new packaging. So this is a prototype at the moment. It's a beautiful product. It's on the water from China currently. As you can tell, really elegant bottle. You know, that same kind of card-shaped frontage. The top of this actually acts as a jigger. So again, if you're hosting at home, not only can you present this really beautiful looking product, but you can also elegantly pour your friends, pour your family a drink, and the whole process seems seamless. You know, we really, our pain point that we found was, you know, I'm sure you've been there when you've welcomed someone into your home and said, hey, I've just made these wonderful cocktails. Would you like one? And there's that terrible, awkward moment when they say, oh, I'm so sorry, like, I'm not drinking, or I can't drink, or I've got to drive. You know, it makes you feel uncomfortable because you feel like you're not a good host. It makes them feel uncomfortable because they're not being gracious. With our products, it's now everyone can have that drink. Alcohol, non-alcohol, everyone feels together, everyone feels welcome.
The way you're phrasing that is very much like where vegetarian was, I should say, sort of 20, 30 years ago, where, you know, everyone has a beef Wellington and the vegetarian gets the omelette. And that's, you know, we're moving past that, as everybody around the table gets a fair shot at the enjoyment, the theatre, the ceremony, the complexity, the respect.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Lee, we see this industry, you know, again, obviously opening, you know, Melbourne's Australia's first non-alcoholic bar. We see this going from strength to strength, as we've seen in countries like the UK. You know, we see us as being where the meat industry, like you said, was maybe 5, 10, 20 years ago. And I mean, look where that's gone. We see this going from strength to strength. And again, for us, to your point, it's not about suddenly, you know, going all the way. You know, the world is very divided. We want to bring people together. Some people will have alcohol, some people will have not, but we want everyone to enjoy that experience together.
Okay, so let's quickly turn to, what do you want in this presentation? What are you reaching out to the UK to provide for you?
Well, look, being a Brit myself, having come over here, there's a couple of us on the team. You know, we know how wonderful the UK market is. We know that there's a massive, you know, following for gin and for products like this. What we want is to find partners over there. We do have some product in the country at the moment. You've obviously got the samples in front of you. We do have a man on the ground, one of my, you know, very good friends from back home. So we're looking at expanding that. We're looking for distributors. We're obviously looking for both on and off premise retailers that want to offer these kind of these twin products. Again, we've seen wonderful, you know, alcoholic products in the market for generations. We're seeing some really fantastic new non-alcoholic products, but what we're trying to offer is this, you know, experience where a couple can go out, sit down at dinner, and if one of them is driving and one of them's not, they can both share this fantastic experience together. So anyone that's interested from either a distribution or you know, an on or off premise perspective, we'd love to you know, for them to reach out and obviously to get in touch and start, you know, giving people this experience.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So you're ready to chat straight away. You can deliver product to retailers, smaller retailers, or is a distributor the prime target here?
Look, we'd love to jump on board with a distributor primarily because we're conscious that they've got the connections and it will make it easier. You know, we in fact, we just shipped a couple of pallets across just yesterday. So we do have product that's kind of ready to go. We're looking at, gin clubs as well. Obviously, we want people to try this. We find if they try it, they love it. And so anyone that's got that access to send out smaller samples, we have our standard 700 ml bottles. We also have 100 ml samples to get into, like I said, gin clubs or magazines or whatever it is, where they want their readers to experience something fantastic and new. Just that little taster, and then obviously we've got the main product to follow up when they inevitably love it.
Brilliant. I'm very attracted to this. I actually am, like, in my head I'm going, maybe I should open a non-alcoholic bar. That'd be great. And the only bar in town where the jokes stay funny all night. That's where it's at.
Absolutely, indeed.
Okay.
Well, cheers to that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, Stephen. And best of luck in making the sober amongst us enjoy the night just as much as everyone else.
Cheers, Charlie. You have a good one.
You too.